a service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC News and Jib Jab Greetings. I'm Bud Lowell. AccuWeather forecast is right across the top of every CNC local news page. There is a New York State budget deal between Governor Cuomo and the leadership of the New York State Senate and Assembly. The deal was, per New York tradition, reached behind closed doors. Agree with that or not, it does mean a third straight on-time budget. As Governor Cuomo wanted, it boosts state spending by less than 2%. It does include raising the state minimum wage to $9 an hour in stages between now and 2016. It also includes the middle-class tax cut the governor wanted for families making up to $300,000 a year.
Everyone, thank you for being here. We're sorry to keep you so late this evening, but as you know, we've been working diligently over the past few days to come to a...
The total state outlay for operations and services is just over $135 billion. Add in the federal aid expected to help downstate recover from Superstorm Sandy, and that brings it to $143 billion. All four leaders, the governor, Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver, Senator Dean Skelos, and Senator Jeff Kline, did a late-night press conference carried live on the internet. Here's Senate co-leader Jeff Kline's take.
We hear words like fiscal cliff and sequester. Those are really code words for dysfunction. And here we are today, coming together with a budget which I think is probably the most family-friendly budget I've ever seen in my years in the state legislature.
Speaker Silver says he expects to have the budget approved in quick order.
Some budget bills will be printed today, the rest tomorrow, and I expect passage to be completed by Sunday the 24th.
All four men spoke from handwritten notes. The numbers they say are approximate. The budget bills were still being printed. And this budget deal does not include any of the revisions to the New York safe gun control law that have been discussed or the proposal to decriminalize possessing small amounts of marijuana. Talks are continuing on those and other issues. Rochester City Council President Lovely Warren is looking to run for mayor. She went before the East Side Democratic Caucus Wednesday night looking for support over Mayor Tom Richards, who's running for re-election. Warren asked the East Side committees for their endorsement, but two of the three voted to support Mayor Richards for the nomination. Warren didn't comment. Northwest City Democrats hold their caucus Monday night. If a majority of the city committees endorse Richards, Warren can try to force a Democratic primary by circulating petitions. Warren represents the Northeast District on City Council. She supported Mayor Richards in the special election to replace Bob Duffy when he was elected lieutenant governor. Supporters and opponents of New York's tougher gun control law both had their say in front of the Rochester City Hall steps on Wednesday. What began as a rally in support of the New York SAFE Act ended up with both sides being heard as the opponents showed up with their own signs and slogans. NY-SAFE bans the further sale of long guns with military-style pistol grips or any one of several military features. To Rochester Mayor Tom Richards, this is a common sense and a minor restriction on Americans' right to bear arms. He called it a minor accommodation to the fact that people shouldn't get shot. To the Second Amendment defenders, however, this is going against the U.S. Constitution and penalizing honest gun owners for the actions of criminals who will ignore the new law anyway. And so the debate continues. The first man to be charged under the NY-SAFE Act pleaded not guilty Wednesday night in Hanover Town Court in Chautauqua County. Benjamin Wassel is accused by state police of selling two illegal semi-automatic rifles to an undercover investigator. Troopers said one of the rifles was already illegal under the pre-NY-SAFE law, and the second, an AR-10, can no longer be sold under the new law. He faces 3 felony charges under the new assault weapons ban. Wassel, who is 32, is free on his own recognizance. He has to appear back in court next month. Since shortly after the Christmas Eve ambush, the firefighter tragedy in Webster, people driving along Lake Road there have seen a sign that read, "How many deaths will it take till we know too many people have died?" And here's about the best photo we had of it. That sign is now covered with a tarp while the man who put it up tries to work out a compromise with the town. Paul Libera put the sign up in January on the site of one of the burned houses. Eventually, the town told him to remove it, but compromised on him covering it. The town has asked Libera to contact the neighbors about the meaning of the sign and ask what they think. He's in the process of doing that. The sign stands in the middle of that burned out area where the gunman set fire to his house, then shot down the West Webster firefighters who responded. One of the two West Webster firefighters who survived the attack December 24th threw out the first pitch Wednesday at the New York Yankees preseason game against the Red Sox. Joseph Hofstetter was shot during the attack. He was in Tampa to attend spring training. Joseph Ogg of Chili talked with the media yesterday about the experience of coming home from a business trip to find his family in the hospital and his house burned. 4 members of his family were rescued from the burning home 2 months ago after their mail carrier saw the smoke and called 911. Ogg's wife, 2 children, and his mother were all hospitalized for injuries from the fire. 24-year-old Caitlin Ogg, the wife, is still in Strong Memorial, but he says she is doing much better. His mother, 67-year-old Judy Ogg, and the children have all been released now. The last, 9-month-old Mara, got out just this week. Ogg says he hasn't been able to put her down since. Mara suffered 3rd-degree burns, and doctors say her chance of survival was about 75%. The same is true of Ogg's stepson, 4-year-old R.J. Lockwood. Doctors say both children have made an amazing recovery. Joseph Ogg had words of thanks for the first responders who saved his family, the medical staff who pulled them through, also for all the community donations given to his family. And there's still no word on what started that fire. To the left of the player window are links to these and other stories. At the bottom of the page in the gray bar, links you can use to post news and information directly to us. We'd like to hear what you know and what you've seen, so please do share it with us. Next news is as it happens. Updates are as necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.